Hello, Oncers. Welcome back to the Once Upon a Time after show here at AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we're talking about Season 6, Episode 12, Ill-Boding Patterns. I said it right.
You did.
R.I.P. Blue Fairy. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Once Upon a Time. I am your host, Tiona Hobson. Why are you guys looking?
I don't know. I just gotta say, I was super upset you guys weren't holding hands because that's your ritual.
I know. I looked over
she had
and I
to
was
make sure her
expecting it to
phone
happen.
didn't start talking in the middle of my opening.
But there's no way to mute it until after it goes. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's very annoying. So here, we're holding hands now. Joining me tonight, I've got the love of my life, Roxy Striar, back.
Yeah, right. Not only am I the love of your life, but we also got dinner tonight, so it's official.
Aw.
We are
We
dating.
went on
That's
a
so
date.
cute.
It was
Start
so
shipping,
cute.
everyone. Start
What was our
shipping.
ship name?
I
I forget.
Tiaxi?
Tiaxi or
Rihanna?
Rihanna. Oh my gosh.
What? Almost too perfect.
And on the other side of the table, we got Mr. Dakota T. Jones, who won't stop winking at me. I'm
What's
in a relationship,
up, guys?
Dakota.
Excuse you?
Can we just have a throuple?
Oh my god.
Anyway, you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
And the professor herself, Marisa Serafini.
Hello, everybody. Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
Initial thoughts on tonight's episode?
I'm so mad.
Anger,
So many
rage.
things.
I am so mad.
So many things.
Because, like, I've waited for years of my life for this episode. Years. We all have.
Oh, I know.
We've been waiting for years. And this is what you're gonna do to me? This is what you're gonna do. I mean, for so many different reasons. You've been waiting for years for a reunion now.
Yep.
We've been waiting for years for an engagement. Hashtag pissed.
And it just all goes
and
down
the
in
way
the
it's
worst
going
way.
down,
Ah.
too. It's like we get some semblance of it, but it's not in the way that we want it or we should, I don't want to say deserve, but the way that we've been expecting it to play out. It's not happening
Why
that
can't
way.
you say deserve? We do deserve
We
it.
did, because
We
we'll
deserve.
call ourselves entitled millennials, and then we don't want that.
I don't care. I am an entitled millennial. I deserve it. Give me the happy ending that I want.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, like, I know we're completely jumping to this, but, you know, like, the engagement that you guys, you're hookers for life. Like, I'm not as big as a fan as you guys, but I know I'm upset for you guys that you didn't get the kind of engagement that you should have.
I appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
Like, I felt for all of you.
Tiana's
No,
like, I feel
really.
personally victimized.
By everyone. So let's backpedal a bit.
Yeah.
Let's roll back.
You want to flashback a little bit?
We're gonna flash
We're very
back a little bit.
upset.
To the first Ogre Wars. It was a dark time for many, and only one could come out triumphant. And that one person was not Beowulf, as we predicted it would be, but Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, and I don't think that was by choice either. It was by force.
Yes.
It's not like he wanted to, which is ironic because we know that Rumpel was, well, Gold, I think, you know, Rumpel was a coward because he didn't want to go to the frickin' Ogre Wars. And then, ironically, he's back at the Ogre Wars and he's the one that
And
killed
he
them
killed
all.
them all, I know.
Yes. Like, why is this the first we're hearing about him being a hero of the Ogre Wars?
Because of the memory potion, duh. All right, so I want to ask a question that I know sometimes I say stupid stuff on the show, like it happens, but I will just ask this so Professor Serafini can make all of us, you know, outsmart the rest of us.
Oh, I know what your question is.
What's
now.
up with Beowulf? This is a poem or something?
No, okay, so this is a legendary story. I don't know if... there are some schools and high schools that you're kind of forced to read. I was one of those people who was forced to read this in high school. No?
I read the Iliad.
I read that too.
I read that too.
I don't know what that is.
But this was a story,
so
the story of Beowulf and Grendel. Beowulf is like this big, monstrous, kind of like a legendary, not really a god, but he was like revered by his people, and he's like the big, strong warrior.
Wait, I'm not understanding. Is it Beowulf or
Beowulf.
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 Which is
Beowulf.
very close to
Beowulf.
Balefire.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
So weird.
Bayo and Bay, it
and
was very
also
confusing.
to Bay? Yeah.
yeah.
Just
He's
give my
like
Bay.
a legendary folklore kind of character who's known for being a strong warrior, and his big creature that he's known to defeat was Grendel the creature.
But he's supposed to be a good guy.
yeah,
Okay.
He's
they just,
revered by his
But they
people.
went and just like twisted him.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I think because Rumpel kind of changed the history of the story. He was supposed, it's the Ogre Wars. He's the leader of the group, and he's got everyone ready, and they're fighting, and he even encouraged that one guy to go back out there and not run away and go fight, and then he got stomped on by an ogre, and I felt really bad for that kid.
I know.
I did too.
I was like, dang, Beowulf set you up.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's this guy, he's leading the charge. They're, you know, in his eyes, they were going to win that battle. And then in what walks Rumpelstiltskin, who had ran away from the war and just, like, whoosh with his dagger, made all the ogres drop dead and disintegrate, and boom, goodbye.
Yeah, he did. And honestly, like, this part of the story to me, when we open up with something like this, like, I was expecting to open up, I don't know, on Emma, because P.S., where was she last week? We barely saw her. But
We
one
didn't
of our
see her much
big,
this week at all,
So,
either.
and we hadn't last week. So when we open up on something like this, I'm always like, okay, this must be something super important. You have to pay attention, otherwise they wouldn't be opening up on this. And I get where we went with this story, but how it started, I just don't care about this Beowulf fellow. I just don't.
Yeah,
You keep
and
calling
You know,
him Beowulf.
Beowulf.
She
Beowulf.
literally wrote in her
Beowulf.
notes, guys, like, Bay, a wolf.
Beowulf.
Like, B-A-E, Bay.
Beowulf.
Beowulf.
If you slur together, it sounds right.
Oh, I
Beowulf.
can't get there, bro. It's fine.
Like, I mean, and this isn't the first time that Once has taken in, like, an already iconic story and twisted it in their own Once Upon a ways. I mean, we had Peter Pan. He was supposedly supposed to be a good person. We saw in the show he was completely a villain. And, like, I think it's interesting that they did the dark turn and twist.
Right, 'cause not
but the
everyone can
problem
be a
is
hero.
they tied it to a storyline that we literally saw in season 1 that, like, none of us hardly remember anymore. Like, what's the point of the Ogre Wars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
I mean, it doesn't even line up to Rumple anyways.
Right, it didn't quite work for me. And then when Beowulf Homeboy walks into the bar and is like, "Yo, you're the dark one." It's like, look at his face. Look at his face. We know he's the dark one.
Right.
He's got gold skin. Like, Tiona and I were freaking out about that.
I was like,
moment.
wait a second, did they not know he was? Like, why?
This guy's just got really bad, crusty skin. It's flaking. It's okay. It's a gold tint to it. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
Something
Look
else.
at him.
Thinking back on it now, something else that's interesting is that Beowulf. Now you have me saying it wrong.
Yeah,
but he
Bay.
calls him out on being the dark one, and then he's like, you know, all this dark magic comes with a price. But instead of letting things play out as they will, and Rumpelstiltskin will get what's coming to him, he decided to take matters into his own hands and try to set him up and, you know, lure him to the cave because Grendel was there, and then he was going to tell all the villagers that, you know, he had killed everyone and he was this terrible person. And this is
Malicious.
malicious, but this is
Yeah.
the only part of the story that I really, you know, I kind of got it. I was like, okay, it's going back to getting the sympathy for Rumple again. And to show that, you know, he didn't have to go down this dark route that he went down, but it was, you know, other people and their influences and what they were doing that really pushed him over the ledge.
Yes, but Tiona, the biggest problem with what you just said is, why would we need to get sympathy for Rumple? Is it perhaps because they're trying to put him back with Belle?
Probably.
Oh, God, no.
Most likely.
Because why else do we need to sympathize for this man? I'm done sympathizing for him.
It's just to show that his actions were to, you know, protect his son, his actions were intended to be well received, and they went down a different route. And so it's to show that, you know, it's very easy to stumble into the darkness,
right.
and he doesn't want his Gideon to go down the same
They
path.
gave that backstory so that way we would be like, okay, we get where he's coming from, and this is why he's so avid to make sure his other son doesn't turn out this way. But I was just so sad that, like, I thought it was great for the story, but whenever Bellfire,
Fire,
whenever
yeah.
he was the one who did this, whenever he was the one who was so adamant, my father cannot kill anyone, and then he's the one that's like, no, do it. I was like, oh
Then
my
he,
God.
Yeah, he
Right.
got the twist.
And yeah.
I was so sad, but I loved it. I thought it was great for the story. But after that whole memory potion thing, I was just like, are you kidding me? His son got mad. And if he would have just told his son, or just not given him the memory potion and just been like, look, you forced me to do this. We're not doing this anymore.
But it's kind of weird because if you have that inside you, which apparently Bellfire did, because we've been watching the show for so many years thinking that Bay didn't do this and that he didn't have that inside him. If you had it inside you once, there are so many opportunities that it would have presented itself again. Don't you think he would have made the same choice at a second
Because
time?
the darkness was already in his heart at that point.
Right,
You know,
because he
according
already-
to what this
Tale.
show has like set up for us. He made the dark choice. He chose to have that person killed. So that's already the darkness is in him, and erasing the memories of what he did doesn't erase that dark spot in his heart.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't
T.
erase that he's done that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why I didn't like where this went, especially once it turned on Bay. I was like, you can't take a character who the fans love and know as a true and noble and good guy, and in his death then go into a flashback of him doing something terrible and being the start of, you know, his father's whole downfall, and then cop out of it by being and then we erased his memory so he doesn't know he did that terrible thing.
Yeah.
But now you guys know.
G1
How am I supposed to feel about him
But
now?
that's
Exactly.
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, why change a storyline that happened so long ago for it to literally end up moot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and so does the chat. G1 X Rider 13. It showed he had darkness in him, which ruins the messaging of his character.
Exactly.
Dina
Yeah.
Setzo, sorry, I don't know how to say your last name. This ruined Bellfire's character. Frowny face. A lot of people are saying this. Yvonne Soto, they ruined Neil's character to give Gold sympathy.
I hate that.
Yeah.
But like,
That's
you
true.
can't make other people dark just to make Rumpel look better.
Yeah.
I know, it's like, oh, well, it's okay, this guy's dark too, so, yeah.
You can't make people have evil ways just so Rumpel turns out to show like smelling like a rose. No,
Yes.
it doesn't work that way.
That's
Completely
not how
agree.
the real world
Rumpel
works.
could
Yeah.
literally prove himself for, I've said this before, for like 5 seasons, and I would still not believe that he's actually
Yeah,
a good character, you know what I mean?
yeah, I've said it too. I agree completely. Rumpel, I'm done.
I'm done with you,
So
Rumpel.
done.
Rumble, you done crossed the line now. So let's get out of the flashback zone and go into what this story tied into, which is Gideon's whole plan.
Just for your notes. Sorry.
Oh, my
Funny.
little points there
Yep.
of action. This is called Gideon's
whiteboard.
plan. Has dash poor blue fairy frowny face. So we have everyone's looking for Gideon. His plan basically now is to make the sword come back to life again because it's been shattered. Which, why didn't they destroy is it called the helm? Is that
Hilt.
what it hilt? I was
Hilt.
close.
Because
Let's
they
say
want
call
to
it
close the
Japan.
trophy.
Hilt. Sword hilt.
Yeah, the hilt of the sword. Why is it in a safe? Clearly you know that it's important if you're
Right.
keeping it locked away, but not important enough to just destroy outright.
Just destroy it outright, because yeah, exactly. And not only that, but like, if you got magic, don't you think that safes are easily broken into? I mean,
Yes.
it's like, oh, I'm just gonna like wave my hand and the combination will
And if you're
open.
gonna put it somewhere, put it in Regina's vault.
And put it
you know,
in front of
like,
No,
Like,
exactly
always
what I was
spell.
thinking. I was like,
No, that
why
wouldn't
do you
work.
have it at the police station when so many people have broken into that
And
place?
yes.
yeah.
Seriously,
There's
and-
never anyone working.
No.
Put a protection spell around it or something. You know what I mean? Like, those are broken too, but I
Yeah.
mean, you
Yeah,
know,
go the extra mile. They just didn't care. They
or
were like,
throw it
I
outside
thought it's
of
like-
the protection. You know, like Storybrooke's walls, like the protection spell. Maybe try to throw it out.
they can't.
You can't.
No, it's just amazing, like how all the most important magical items that no one should be able to touch is always stolen.
Yeah. It's all about plot devices.
It's all
Yeah,
about
seriously.
plot hole. So in the effort to get this, you know, Gideon starts working with his dad to get the stuff. Of course, Rumpel is trying to convince him not to go through with his plan of killing Emma or to become the savior because he needs her white magic, which I wrote down again. Why don't we just ask her for help to free the people of your cursed world
Right.
where the black fairy is? Why is it I have to do this? Why isn't it I can ask the girl for help and she can go be the savior because that is what she's meant to be?
I just feel like any like young teenage or you know maybe after teenage man in this show is just so sword happy that they just like they don't want to put down the sword and be like, hey, I really need your help. They want to be like, no, I'm going to kill him and all this kind of stuff. It's like, come on, like why can't you just put the sword down? Your hormones are running wild, like just put them down.
Which is why I sometimes still, like I said last week, I have a hard time believing Gideon's full story because it's like, oh, I have to do something completely dark and evil to an innocent person to then go be a hero. And
don't get
Rumpel's
it.
like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And giving into the darkness can only lead to heartbreak. And he's talking from someone who knows.
I'm just not down with this over and over again. I'm a bad person because I was raised by bad people. I'm just not down with it. You don't have to be a bad person because you are raised by bad people. People are raised by serial killers and they end up to be martyrs and saints. Like, you don't have to turn out that way. And I don't think it's good messaging on TV when we see that. When you see, like, based on somebody who their parents is, they have to go that way. No, it's wrong. I think it's wrong.
No, I completely agree with you because, you know, watching this episode, I kept thinking that nature versus nurture aspect when we see it. And, you know, just even the title of this episode, Ill-Boding Patterns, yeah, this may have happened in the past and you learn from history. That doesn't define who you are now. It depends on what you do with it.
Oh, I get it now because remember how he says when he was reading her Handsome Hero, and that the Black Fairy basically
left the gate
open, and how he turned out to be a coward, just like his dad. It's like the lesson he doesn't want to be the
history
coward.
history
repeating itself in that way, where he could have helped that poor boy. But I mean, also you were a kid. What could you have done? The Black Fairy, if she was strong enough to defeat the Blue Fairy and take you away from her, then as a kid, what are you supposed to, like, what could you have done? Being
scared and being a bad person are two completely different things. So you were scared and you didn't go help somebody who was in pain. Next time, hopefully you grow the power so that you will, but that doesn't make you a bad person. What makes you a bad person is that you're trying to murder somebody. That's what makes you a bad dude. Not that you didn't go help somebody when you could. Next time you should, but okay, you were afraid. Now you're trying to make other people feel afraid. It's wrong. This character's pissing me off.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's where he blurs the lines. He doesn't understand and have that distinction between what is bad and what's wrong, you know?
Yeah. And that's, I mean, it's interesting, this whole episode, that Rumple is the one trying to teach him the right path to go down.
I know.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, first of all, pot, kettle, black, but then also it's showing that Rumple is trying to change and be a different person. He's like, he's so adamant to not let another one of his children make the wrong choice again, that he's taking it on himself to do it. And
I mean, it's honorable, but it's like, at this point, we've seen Rumple try to change so many freaking times.
Belle's like, thank you for darkening your heart, Rumple, to save our son.
And like they hug, and I'm just like, what is happening?
But guys, we haven't had Rumple actually have his child here and have an opportunity to really, like, this is a child, Bay, he lost, he got back as an adult, but he had that prime time with Bay where he got to know him and help try to guide him into the person that he is. He never got that chance with Gideon. And so I think he's really trying to make up for it and really learn from his past patterns of what he does with his kids and be a better parent.
I mean, I get it, and maybe good on Rumple for, like, realizing his past and maybe trying to do something about it. I think I'm actually more upset at how fast Belle was forgiving about this.
Me too, completely. I'm calling it now, Marissa. She's going to end up liking him again. She's going to want to be with him again because she's going to say that he's a good father, and that changed everything. Yeah, it's bull, that word, for sure.
But
and I understand, like, she's trying to get into that mentality. It's like, I understand what you had to do. Yeah, it was dark. I get it. But I think I was just more upset at the fact that how so on board and how quick she was on with this. And so understanding and showing affection towards Rumple for doing something so dark.
But I think that's the mother side of her. It's the mother side of her that she would have made that choice to protect her child. Yeah. Because it's a mother's love that's coming into play here. And I don't think it necessarily has to do with him as a person that she's thanking. She's thanking him for protecting their son. Yeah. And as a mother, I'm not a mother, but from her point of view, like, as a mom, I can see that coming through. I would expect my mom to make a similar choice, or my dad to stop me from doing something, and, you know, it might not be the right choice for you personally, but you did it to protect your child. So that motherly side of her is what.
Here's the problem that I have with Belle, though, is, like, I mean, we see, I talked about this on Broadway Breakdown today. We talked about the theater version in the film of Beauty and the Beast. Belle is such a powerful character. Yes, you were. Belle is such a powerful character. She always knows what she wants. She's very independent, and she gets things done herself. I have a little bit of a problem on how they portray her in the show, especially in recent episodes. She's very fragile. She's very, like, can't do anything herself type of thing, very reliant on Rumple. And just Melissa in the chat said she is such a bad judgment of character. And it's like she's nothing like the Belle that I know and love from the movie, the film. She's weak. She's weak. And I hate that about her because she is such a big, strong female character in the film and in the theater show.
Yeah. I mean, I know that this show is allowed to take creative liberties and they're allowed to do what they want with their characters. They've just made a decision that makes it hard for me to rely on Belle or root for Belle when she keeps going back to the exact same thing that's causing all of her problems.
She's like that friend that comes
Back
to
to
you
old
for
ways.
like relationship advice, and you sit there for 2 hours and give them relationship advice.
And then they do the same
and then
thing.
They do the same thing over and over.
What they wanted to do. It's
at
like,
a
then why did
certain
you ask
point-
me?
At a certain point, you got to take a back seat and be like, you know what, screw it. I've tried to help you so many times, and that's where I'm at with her.
like the devil
well,
you know.
I want to say something that's from the chat. Danielle Musella says, when it comes to Belle, I think she understands that while your obligation to each other as a couple might be over, your obligation to your kids is never over. And that's what I'm saying in this situation, that it's not necessarily Rumple that she is embracing. It's like, hey, you did this for our child. We have to learn how to co-parent.
I agree.
The relationship can be done, but you have to be civil enough with each other to help your child.
Your obligation to your child.
have to team
Absolutely.
up.
Now, you're telling me you think that this child is going to be better for having him in his life. I don't think so.
At
I
this
don't think
point,
so
for
either.
having his dad try to stop him from murdering someone,
That's
yeah,
not
I
what
think
his-
that's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
don't
better.
agree.
I completely understand that you want to protect your child. Granted, the way you did it was so dark. I think what I'm more upset is like the writers trying to force upon Belle and Rumple getting back together so soon after all this ish went down.
Yeah.
After all this.
No,
Yeah.
and it's not okay. It's
What-
way too soon. for
What's up
that.
with the blue fairy right now? So they take the magic and
So
and
she's
so-
just knocked out because he
Powerless.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't seem like she's dead. She's just knocked out, but they drained her of her powers. And Rumple did say the line, blah, 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 when I get my dagger back, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'll return her power. So he
for
has
now-
the ability to give her magic back.
But so for now, homegirl's just gonna stay asleep, or she's just gonna wake up and have no magic.
I feel like she's
Yeah.
gonna wake up and have no
Wake up,
magic, and I
no
think
magic.
that's why he also put it on himself to be the one to do this, because he then would have the power to give it back to her. Because perhaps if Gideon had done it, then she couldn't get her powers back because Gideon would be in charge of it. Like whoever takes the power is the one
Yeah.
who has to give it back, kind of thing.
If you think about it, since Rumple has Blue Fairy's magic, he essentially has the magic to wield the sword. Gideon may own it and possess it, but Rumple is the one who actually has the power of the sword right now.
And he probably knew that Gideon then would give back the swivelly stick.
Dagger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The swivelly stick.
The zigzag dagger.
Oh my gosh,
The dark one's dagger. Swivelly stick.
But we do know that Gideon is still gonna go after Emma again, and that now that the sword has been reforged, it's more powerful than it was the last time. So
So it's
Yes.
Emma, you in danger, girl.
Don't you ever want to look at somebody and just say, be more chill? Like, just be more chill. We could all use it in life. Just woosah, my child. Chill.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, Rumple may have stopped him. Like Rumple may have stopped him from darkening his heart, but that's only for a limited time. Like, okay, yeah, you stopped him this one time, but he's gonna try it again. So like, you kind of just made yourself worse, type of a thing.
He's going to have to die.
You think Gideon's gonna die?
I think he's going to have to.
Yeah.
Because he's never going to be good, so he's going to have to die.
Or if he is, he's gonna be like kept around like Zelina and be
Well,
like, oh,
the-
is he good? Is he bad? Oh, she,
The interesting thing is, like, every episode that we've had Gideon so far, they always drop at least one line like, you're a good person, Gideon. And again, that's why I still say it's that Star Wars, Darth Vader, Kylo Ren parallelism. Like, there is hope within him. There might be that moment where he changes the last second, be like, oh yeah, I'm good, sorry.
Yeah, maybe, and then he dies.
I'm predicting that, and that's an
Nice.
early prediction that I mentioned before. But every episode, they dropped a line and gave the audience a hint that he's good. So we might actually see a moment where he actually turns good.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I would like to see that again. I just still don't believe his story. I haven't seen flashbacks of his childhood yet. I
Yeah.
haven't seen the Black Fairy yet. I need more
Let's
proof
see it.
that
You
what
lying-
he's saying is actually what happened, and that this isn't just a bigger plot of him just being a evil dark guy. Speaking of evil dark guys, Robin Hood 2.0 really he really took a turn tonight, huh?
He did.
Marissa, why are they doing this to us?
I don't know. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Like, I thank you, everyone in the live chat, also commenting that I don't like the Swan Point Robin either. And it's very upsetting when they keep putting him and Regina together, and you can see the chemistry, but then, like, at least I'm glad that they're self-aware that, hey, I'm not the old Robin that you know and love.
Yeah.
I'm not this person. You try to keep reforming me and try to make me remember all these things from someone else's life, not mine. And it's frustrating knowing that's so true.
Yes. And what is their plan here? Are they trying to put Swan Point Robin with Evil Queen? Like, is that what they're attempting to do? Because, ew. No.
No, that's
We
so
will rebel.
I will rebel.
We will riot in the street.
Why the regular?
We're gonna have signs. No.
That's what they'll say. Just no.
Roxy, I'm already there. I'm already there.
But if Regina got to have normal, nice, regular Robin, why wouldn't the Evil Queen get this Robin?
I feel like it's
because
gonna
it's
happen.
not
I
the
feel like
Regina
that's-
that we want.
And
That's
Robin
exactly what's
2.0
happening.
isn't actually evil like Evil Queen.
I don't know.
He might
he
be
stole
now.
that magic to get out of here. He's working. Well, he's hanging out with her now. He teamed up with Zelina to get out of there.
He's
I don't know.
not good.
He's not
Okay.
good for sure. He said he came to this land for a new start, new people to rob, new places to steal from. Like,
Yeah, I'm not a good
everything was
person.
about
Drink.
new bars.
Nicholas Stormy says, I'm so excited for Evil Queen and Evil Robin.
No.
You've got to explain why.
No,
I have to know
Nicholas.
why. Also, somebody in here was talking, Emma Frost was talking about Regina's hat. I literally wrote down, why is she looking like Carmen Sandiego? What was Regina's outfit tonight? Like,
No, I completely agree because I noticed too. Okay, she's wearing a tan jacket. I was like, all right, good for the neutrals. At least she's getting away from black.
yeah, like,
and
but it was like
crap.
a trench coat.
But then she was wearing her like purpley shirt and then and a hat that totally did not match color scheme. And she did not have it.
That was
Like,
bizarre.
love you, Regina,
she
but
usually looks
what is
amazing.
happening?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I don't
she
know.
literally wore 3 different colors in her outfit. I was like,
Oh my
something
gosh.
is happening.
Yeah, it was not right. Evil Queen got in her
She's
head.
going. She's going through
fashion
some
was
things
not-
right now, guys. She's got
Yeah.
Robin back, but it's not Robin. She can't think. She can't eat.
She overthought that one so much. She was like, gotta look good for 2.0. Oh my god, let me try this. No, girl, just do what you were doing before. Go
3
back to
colors. It was 3 distinct different colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. It was weird.
But the Evil Queen is also back. That freaking snake that I hate.
Oh, the cobra.
Yes, that I hate. I honestly can't tell you what happened at the end there with the snake and Robin because I had my eyes closed. So you
That's
guys,
right.
please
Well,
talk.
So
I have no idea what happened.
He
she-
still had some magic left on him from being able to like
No, some anti-magic.
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 Yeah, like to be able to come through
Oh, because
to the
when the
realm.
thing exploded
Yeah.
on him when they tried to do the production
Right.
spell thing.
So she needed to bite him in order to get some of that anti-magic in her system, so that way it would make her.
how did she get out? How did no one notice that the snake wasn't in the cage?
Yeah.
How did no one notice that like the snakes
snakes are
slithering
sneaky.
away?
Well, I
Sneaky,
think
sneaky.
it was under the cover there, and then, like when they took the cover off, there was a big noticeable hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
see
okay.
that.
See, I didn't see that
See,
either because
if
as
you're
soon as they
gonna,
went to
Okay.
take it back, I closed my eyes.
I mean, if you're gonna
It was
like
covered.
keep a snake in like confined, maybe put it in something that doesn't have bars.
Like a glass box.
Maybe a glass box with like
Or
a
like
just get
a
rid of
ditch
it.
in the ground, like the whole. Let's just bury it under dirt.
Or take a shovel and chop off its head because
Oh.
that's what you're supposed to do to.
Yeah, cover.
Kill the snake.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or we can get an Operation Mongoose back because Mongoose couldn't
Okay,
actually
sorry.
kill cobras, you guys.
Okay, but can we talk about where is Henry? Where is Henrold?
Why don't we ask
Well-
you? You're his brother.
I know. I've been trying to get a hold of him, you guys. No, but seriously,
You're really concerned.
I'm really concerned about him.
he's been gone for 2 episodes now.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
he
I mean,
went fishing with his mom last week.
yeah, he was
so-
on the boat and he forgot the life jackets, which was really annoying of him. Henry, come on.
Come on. But seriously, though.
I think that honestly they're like steering us away from Emma Henry storylines. I don't know why, but
Is that like a.
I think it's
like a-
because they're like trying to build the Emma Hook storyline too. But you also remember we didn't get Snow or David in this episode either.
I feel like if they are going to come back for a season, what is it going to be, season 7?
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be, like you guys said last week, without a lot of our favorite characters. So I
I
think maybe
straight up
they're
listed the characters that
trying
they're
to-
talking to, Dakota.
I know. I'm saying maybe
Dude, I
they're
straight up
trying.
said this
They're just
verbatim
trying to like
last week.
phase some characters out and like give other characters more of a storyline. But it's like if they are trying to do that, it's unfair to us because we need closure on some of our favorite storylines, and by just like kind of phasing them out, we're gonna be sad.
Okay,
But
but
let's be
in all
real.
fairness, Holly Lehman in the chat says, hopefully at school. That's right. Maybe that's where Henry is. He's getting an
Maybe.
education.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Educated,
he
but-
should. He
Okay.
should be getting educated.
Oh, good.
And to be fair, they have been using less and less of Snow and David for the last 2 or 3 seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little bit had to do with the pregnancy, because Jennifer couldn't clearly shoot once she had the baby and stuff. But it's past that now, and
Yeah.
it's just always been kind of dialed back
She's
on them. But
maybe
hey,
done.
they're series regulars, so they get paid every week regardless. So
Yep.
more power to them. You got a week off of work, and you still got paid.
Yeah.
Rocknetta says Zelina wanted to go to New York City to be in Wicked.
It is funny that that's the first place she, like, every time someone tries to leave this town, it's like, I'm going to New York City!
I know. It's like come to
It's like
LA.
the only city they've been to outside
Yeah,
of
it's like,
Storybrooke.
get further away from Storybrooke.
do
than
realize-
you
They went to
Boston
get
at some
sucked
point.
back in.
You do realize there are other metropolis cities in the country.
Yep.
Try Chicago. It's nice there.
Right.
Come on.
Try
Boston.
LA. Why not?
I mean, why not?
They fit right in LA.
Right.
Hollywood Boulevard, you guys
Oh,
would be great
they would
there.
be great
Totally.
there.
Yeah, we need that
Great there.
episode.
I'm trying to find my son. Like, be like, okay.
There he is. He's in front of the Gromans.
So now the part of the episode that I've avoided the most because hashtag Hooker for life. So the show, we first see Hook hanging out with Archie at Granny's, and he's like, hey, how's it going? What's good? You talk to David? And he's like, yeah, but now I have this huge secret that I don't know if I should tell Emma or not about it, because if I tell her, she might not want to marry me, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yo, because you want to tell her, that's a sign that you've changed and you're a better person.
David even told you you changed.
Yeah, David even told you changed, so maybe that's a sign that you do need to tell her. And here I'm just like, wow, you guys are really just like twisting
Twisting
a
it.
knife in my heart right now with this whole you're a changed person and a good guy now. Because then comes the part where he's like, okay, finally, I've had enough shots of Captain Morgan. I'm going to go tell the truth. And then Roxy straight up calls it. She was like, she found the ring. Before we even see Emma, before he even walks in the house,
Look at you.
she goes, she found the ring.
I'm always doing this. You guys know. I always am 10 steps ahead. I always pick
so
up on
proud of you.
everything.
Yeah, so that
Especially when it
kind
comes to
of-
Hooker for
Oh,
life.
yeah.
yeah, that kind of ruins the whole I'm gonna confess to Emma thing and turns it into I'm gonna propose to her kind of thing right after they go, we're going into this with no secrets.
There's so many issues here. Now, let's break it down for a second. Number one, put this in the real world for a second. If you have a girlfriend, like I'm just talking about a friend who's a girl, if any of us had friends who are girls, and she calls you and she's like, oh my God, I think my boyfriend's going to propose because I found the ring. What is the advice you give her? You say, put the ring back
And act
and
surprised.
let him surprise you because he just damn dropped $30K on that ring. I saw that ring, and he wants to propose. And we've waited for years for this, and you're gonna just hand it to him? Are you
Yeah.
proposing to yourself?
My
What
other-
is wrong with you?
But the other thing I was thinking about when that was happening along those lines is that if you thought he was struggling because he's like, I don't know how to tell you this because it's going to affect things. And she's like, oh, it's okay. My answer is going to be yes. He didn't even have the ring. He doesn't have the ring on him
it's in
because
your
it's in your hand.
hand.
So there's no way this was set up to be a proposal
Oh my
right
gosh,
now. Emma.
so
you
true.
have the ring.
Exactly.
He's not going to be like, oh, I'm so nervous to ask you this question. Will you marry me? Oh, the ring's upstairs. Let me go get it.
No, you're right.
Exactly. And she's got that ring in her hand. She thought from the entire time it took for her to get from the bedroom downstairs, this is a good idea. Me in my sober state of mind, I'm just going to bring him the ring because I'm sure he just forgot it.
And-
so he needs it to propose to me.
Right, and oh, you've been drinking. Okay, this is a perfect time for you to propose to me.
Yes, what a
Captain
memorable
Morgan.
moment. Yes,
Right.
as you reek of booze,
I will say
you
this.
pirate.
My grandfather proposed to my grandmother in a bar drunk, and she was like, I said yes and married him right away, so he couldn't change his mind. Hand to God, that's a true life story.
At least he asked her. At
Right.
least he
She was like,
freaking
he was
asked her.
drunk, and I made sure he remembered the next day.
Yeah.
So
This is just
they've
wild.
been married for 60 years.
It's
so.
a really crappy setup
Yes,
for
it
something
is.
that we've all been wanting for and deserve.
Yes.
an actual proper proposal.
Because now
Yes.
it's ruined. Because like you
And
can't
now-
redo it.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can't redo it, but that was just one part of it. The second part is now it's built on a lie. Now
Yep.
we have this massive secret. And like, how long, Hook, have you known this for? Did you just put these pieces together because you see this and you're finally realizing who David's father is? I don't think so.
Really?
I think you've known this for quite some time.
Really?
Oh,
'Cause
no, I don't think that.
No.
Oh,
I think that was the first time he saw a picture of.
I think
Why
it
would he
reminded
see
him. I think
David's
it
father?
because David's talked about it, and we've seen other
But-
images from different
But
pages
if,
of the story.
but if all David has said is that his father died drunkenly driving a cart off the road, Hook wouldn't think, oh,
Maybe.
I had something to do
Yeah,
with that.
see-
And it happened
yeah.
when David was so young that, it's so
I would
far.
love to think that. I want to think that.
I think you should, because I rewatched that part and it was very obvious that he was like, oh my gosh, because the photo of him and he recognized it. It was like, oh my gosh, he seemed shattered.
I saw that, but to me, the oh my gosh was now there's proof.
Really?
That's what it looked like to me, honestly.
Because I don't think
but
he would have been so quick to go into the dark space of, I need to tell Emma this, if it was like, oh crap, there's proof now.
Maybe not, and I hope you guys are right, and you're persuading me a little bit. But what I will say is, the second it comes up, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do? You
Yeah.
either tell her or you don't. And if your decision is to tell her, then you don't go and get pissed drunk at a bar.
Yeah.
That is not a conversation you have wasted. That's like I murdered your grandfather. That's something you want to be wasted for?
No.
You want to be trashed for that? Smart, Hook. Really smart.
I would want to have a little bit of liquid courage, not trash.
He was
drunk, but-
wasted. He'd
Not
been there
trash.
all day. He changed locations at the damn bar. He started at one place and ended up in a
But he was
booth.
drinking slowly throughout the day. It wasn't like
No, he was gone.
a
He was
rager.
gone.
It was
but,
a rager.
But I
I
do
agree.
think that I will say that I was so angry about this proposal and that it was happening. I blacked out. I don't even remember. I saw him get down on one knee. I don't remember the words that came out of his mouth for this proposal. All I wrote down was like, this whole thing is ruined and tarnished.
It wasn't his words. She said the words.
Yeah, but like
much.
after he
Yes.
got down on a knee, like I don't know what happened after that.
Did
Like
you-
I just
were
I
you
stopped
drunk?
watching. I was
Basically-
like, I'm so blackout mad right now.
I'll fill in the gaps for you. He got on his knees like, so will you marry me? And then he puts on the ring first before she even says yes. I mean, she said yes like 20 seconds earlier, but he puts on the ring and then they like start making out and all that. And then there was a beautiful cinematography shot with theirs revolving around them kissing. And
Didn't even see
was
that.
it.
Maybe I should see that at some point.
So
But
mad.
I was so
Of
just
course
like
you
my
couldn't
eyes were
remember
red
that.
and filled with fury that
But-
this was the way
but that's the
Emma,
thing, that's the
a
problem.
princess, was getting her proposal.
But that's the thing. It's not even memorable because it was that bad.
Yes, and it's not even the last scene in the episode. We've been waiting for years for an engagement, and it's not a mid-season finale. It's not the premiere. It's not in the last 5 minutes, like the last scene of the show. It doesn't open the show. This was thrown in a random episode 12, surrounded by other crazy things. Like, that's the proposal you're giving me?
That just makes my heart hurt because that just means that this isn't going to end well and that they're not gonna end up getting married. In my eyes, this is what this means, is that it started on a lie. Eventually, the truth's going to come out, and it's going to be so bad that Emma is going to be so angry with him for not just telling her from the start that everything that they've worked for is going to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Wow.
And I love that Emma even says, like, no secrets, no walls.
Yeah.
Girl.
And then,
Yeah.
boom.
Little do you know.
Such
Little do you know, girl.
all lie.
Casket Fam 1, hashtag face palm of a proposal. It's
Very true.
Casket Fan 1 has had some good comments.
Yeah, loving it.
So that kind of wraps out this episode, which, I mean, sounds like the chat was a little bit on our side
I know.
tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely on team Hook didn't know, though. So I'm so glad that we're getting to be on that team
Yeah.
that Hook didn't realize.
Because
Yeah.
at first I jumped to conclusions too, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I
But
set
no.
him straight last week.
Yeah. Tiana
I was like,
was
you're not coming after my man like that.
Yeah.
No way.
Good.
So, who wants to be in charge of Weave of the Week?
Well, it definitely wasn't Regina
Once
this
upon
time.
once upon a
Once
week.
upon a
No,
week.
it wasn't my girl.
No, oh my God, for sure it was not.
I'm going to give it to the Evil Queen because she
Yeah,
made her
she did.
big triumphant return in all of her glorious glory that is the Evil Queen. So, she gets it for me.
I think so. I think, I mean, anytime the Evil Queen is in an episode at all, it's pretty much a given.
It was
Yeah.
quite the return. Unfortunate, albeit unfortunate that we know that Evil Queen is back, but it was quite the entrance on her part.
I feel like
She's
the
looking
ogre
fierce.
should get it. The ogre had a lot of weave going on.
Oh, dude, but that ogre was
That was
great
some
looking.
CGI
Yeah.
weave.
We're
Yeah.
always talking about maybe sometimes the CGI doesn't really look that good because granted they're on a very, very tight schedule. But
And
I
budget,
thought
yeah.
it was great.
Yeah, and they
Like,
made it
scary.
just dark enough that it looked. I completely agree.
And
So
there were
ogre
several
gets
of
the
them.
weave for me.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting Grendel, but then to fight Beowulf, and because that's a legendary creature too. But they spent all their production budget on
On
the
all the
ogres, which I mean they look badass. I'll just say that.
Which these ogres were a lot bigger than the ones we've seen in the past. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, this isn't like the ogre that was at the bridge that one time in season one.
It reminded me of the troll from Harry Potter,
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
like just swinging around. Here we go,
Swing my bat.
knocking people over.
I wanted them.
Ivan says Hook and Emma will get married. The panel already confirmed, whenever they were at Comic-Con, I guess.
Okay, here's what I'll say though, Ivan. You know you're the homie. We love you, Ivan. You be putting things in this chat sometimes that are not true. you be making things up all the time. You write things. You're like, this is confirmed, and then I'll look and I can't find a confirmation. Send links. Send love.
Smacked up from
Send us a link. I want to see this. We love you, Ivan.
No,
We really
Ivan,
do.
Ivan, you are the best. We love you. But I know that you write things in here sometimes say confirmed, that you have confirmed yourself.
Yeah, if anything you learn from the newsroom, you always have to get 2 sources of confirmation before you write your
Yes,
story.
give me your 2 sources.
Thank you very much. Thank
Sources.
you very much.
Well, on that note, let's move into our predictions.
Oh, here it is.
And now, your AfterBuzz
TV.
I'm just waiting for Ivan to get pissed.
I know.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to yell at you,
Yelling
Roxy.
in all caps.
So I can say that
He says it was from an interview, Roxy. Show me the proof, Ivan.
Shows the toolings to
well,
this
then
interview.
even if they do end up getting married, it pisses me off even more that like they're gonna have a divorce now because of this huge secret that he allowed to go into a marriage with.
You think they would learn their lesson by now? Like, secrets come out. You can't
Yes.
just hold it back. Like, it's gonna come out.
secrets don't make friends
Exactly.
True.
No, they
Very
don't.
true.
or relationships.
Well, the problem is not that he has the pages. I don't think he's gonna put it back into the book, obviously. But I think Emma. All right, if we're going into predictions, I think Emma's gonna cross these pages like probably the day of, within the hour that they actually get married, if they are going to get married, and then be like, "Yo, Hook, what's up with this?" And then we're like, "Oh, we need a serious chat or an annulment."
So
right
she
now.
found the ring but didn't find the pages.
Yeah, like something's out of order. Where's your?
He's keeping those in his pocket. He's like, I don't need to hide this ring because whatever. So I'll put it in the trunk. But these pages, I gotta
These
keep
pages.
close to my chest.
But what happened to
Right?
her superpower when you know she's lying?
Yeah, and that happened last week too with the whole thing with the life jacket. She's like, I know you're lying, and then he
know
makes
you're
up
lying.
another lie, and she's like, all right, cool. I'm like, well,
No, that's a lie too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
all right,
Her superpower is fritzy.
yeah, on the fritz for sure.
Totally on the fritz.
Maybe she's been after that booze life too.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Dakota, you
She
have
needs
any
to do the
predictions?
water.
you know what?
Are you
This
just
is-
gonna
this
repeat
is
something that you saw in the
Okay,
preview for
you
next
know
week
what?
and take it as your own?
Tiona. No.
You were gonna do it.
No.
You were totally gonna do that.
I don't have a prediction this week.
He's afraid to say his.
I'm just gonna say no prediction this week.
I predict that Regina is gonna go against the evil queen. For one in the final showdown. How did you know my prediction?
I mean,
my God.
We're just so.
I'm actually really excited for
Thanks.
this. I'm really excited.
I
Yes,
know.
but
I hope
like-
It's gonna be
the final.
Regina
Do you think
centric,
it's
and
the
I'm
final?
all for it.
Do you think it really is the final?
Like, don't tell me
showdown?
it's the final
I
one.
hope
I
so.
have 3 more.
I don't think it's gonna be the final.
One of them needs to be gone for good.
Fake news.
It's gonna be Evil Queen, obvi.
What is the chance that Robin's the prize? Like, what are they fighting for?
I don't know.
It's like Mulan.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
A girl we're fighting for.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes.
well, Roxy,
A man
that's
we're
a
fighting for.
great
Thank you so much.
prediction. Like, I'm so happy for you for thinking of that.
Yeah.
My prediction is that
Lame.
you're lame.
Yeah.
Is that Snow and David will break their curse in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks? You said that
'Cause
before,
that's
like
when
a
they
couple
come
weeks ago.
He's just gonna
Because
find
the one
fault with
thing, it's
whatever
the
he's
one
saying right
thing
now.
that I know has to happen still.
Yeah.
Like,
Why
they're-
do you say
they-
in 2 weeks and not next episode? Is it
Because
because
next
the episode
is
title?
going to be about
it's
Regina.
because we didn't see it in the preview
Yeah.
for next week.
and like we saw the evil queen looking for them, but I don't think that. Well, she was looking for Snow.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be curse broken and a big fight. It's got to be one or the other.
Well, we got so much stuff that happened into this week's episode too. They're like, all right, we gave them a lot. We'll take a week
We
off.
pissed
and give
them off,
yeah,
is
we
what they're
pissed them off.
saying. We
Yeah.
pissed everyone off, so let's make them happy by
Give them a
having
breather.
Regina defeat the evil
Obviously, the evil queen's gonna die. We're not gonna lose Regina.
Don't say
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, like, okay, so
It's
but that's,
confirmed.
know.
that's
It's
the
confirmed.
question. That's the question. Is Evil
In an
Queen gonna
interview.
die, or is Regina going to like absorb her old self back into, and she just takes back the powers?
Well, that would be the final showdown then.
The final
If
show.
she does absorb her.
Maybe her evil queen side truly actually never dies.
It's kind of like, you know how
Sometimes
sometimes
she has to live with it.
whenever someone's pregnant with twins and one just kind of absorbs the other. Have you heard about that?
Yes. Well, they don't absorb them; they eat them.
They eat them.
That's
really
messed
sad,
up.
yeah.
Oh my god. Can you imagine living with that? Like I feel like as soon as you
Most
be
parents
coming
don't
out,
tell their kids that.
as soon as you
You
be
could have
coming
done
out,
that. You don't know.
I might have.
Your parents didn't tell you.
As soon as they be coming out the birth canal, they better be taken away in handcuffs, though. That's all I'm saying.
I just
Yeah.
think my big
Dakota,
fat
we're all born
my
with sin,
twin.
okay? Some of us are born with more sin than others, but we're all born with it, okay?
Okay.
It's a good point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was my twin.
Oh gosh. Well, this show is definitely out of control.
Yeah.
So, does anyone have any final predictions? We're all good. We're good. Dakota,
We're
I
good.
don't need to
Yeah.
hear what's coming out of your mouth.
Oh
now.
my God! If she does absorb her, then can we enter with Spice Girls and two become one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Or,
become
I always thought that was about a
one.
lesbian experience, but
But it
Or
really was about eating your own twin.
you get the best of both worlds.
Do you just have to one up me?
did you?
or-
No, that's
You
the
did not
age
sing Hannah
gap
Montana
here.
right
Hannah
now.
Montana.
That is
You
the
did
age
not sing
gap at
Hannah
this
Montana.
panel right now. But you went with Spice Girls and he went with Hannah Montana.
I am dying. Like, you did not do Hannah Montana right
Yes,
now.
I
Get
did.
out of here.
All right, guys, this has
Get
been
out
a
of
great
here.
show. I had so much fun. I hope you guys at home who are listening and watching also had a great time. Thank you for tuning in. Let the good folks know where to find you, especially you, Dakota, because I feel like people have some things they want to say to you.
Please do. You guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
And I'm at the Tiona Hobson. Make sure you check out all the shows that AfterBuzz TV does here. Check out our website, our YouTube channel, our iTunes. Leave us comments, give us stars, give us thumbs up, and high fives. You're supposed to high
that was
five.
my
Boom.
star.
Oh, okay. Well, you're supposed to high five me too. High five. Boom.
Oh, that
And
was
we
good.
will see you guys next week. Thanks.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be